It is 1 o'clock. Welcome back into the program. Pat, Molly, Conrad, Landrum on a plane heading to Annapolis, Maryland, as the UAB Blazers will be taking on tomorrow. Both teams, very impressive win in week number 1. Pregame show will be at 1:30 tomorrow. Landrum, myself, David Crane, 1:30. We do have some tackle football tonight in the college variety. James Madison is taking on Louisville. That is a 6 o'clock kickoff. Western Illinois is at Northwestern. That's at 6:30. Northern Illinois is at Maryland. That's a 6:30 game. And then Eastern Washington will be taking on Boise State. That's an 8 o'clock game. And all of those games can be viewed either on ESPN2, the Big Ten Network, or FS1. So if you're not at a high school game tonight and you're looking for some college football to view, you've got options tonight. And, of course, the SEC gets underway bright and early tomorrow morning. And it will be very interesting to see how the Alabama fandom reacts tomorrow night against Louisiana Monroe. Meanwhile, the Auburn Tigers, coming off an impressive victory against the Baylor Bears, they will be facing off against the Ball State Cardinals. Should be a fun atmosphere down on the plains. Have a ton of former Pat Dye football players that were letter winners there. They were of the first flight of the Eagle inside Jordan-Hare Stadium.
I couldn't remember if we brought this up earlier this week, some of the new additions to Jordan-Hare that they're going to have this year. So if you haven't heard about this and you're going down to the Plains tomorrow, you have some things to look forward to. So they have 5 new enhancements, they're calling them, for the stadium this year. The first is you're going to have that north end video board. It's going to be fully functional.
Yep.
It's basically the south end zone, the big one, just a little bit smaller version of that, but it'll essentially function the same way. They're also going to have a new lighting and laser system for their light show and projections on the field, so that should be very cool to see. This is the one that I would be the most excited about, is they now have technology to where if you are watching the game on one of those video boards, they're going to be able to, like you're watching it on TV, they're going to have the first down markers for you, things like that, where it's easy to discern what you're looking at on the field. They're also going to have extra pyrotechnics, so fireworks, that kind of stuff. They're going to be able to increase those effects a little bit as well. And they also have some expanded VIP program offerings if you're a member of the Auburn VIP program. And they're going to start doing more stadium tours, player meet and greets, things like that. So a lot of things to look forward to if you're going to be in Jordan-Hare Stadium at some point this season.
So speaking of stadiums, so over the weekend, it was the first time ever at Clemson Stadium that they sold alcohol to the general public. First time ever. Heck.
That was probably a good game for it.
That was a great game, right?
Yeah.
Playing LSU.
I bet the LSU fans paid for more of it than the Clemson fans did.
Now, I know we've asked this before, but I forgot. Does Nebraska do alcohol?
Now they do. They just started this year.
But they didn't when you were a student?
No.
Okay. And obviously, they just started at Bryant-Denny, a year ago?
No, I still had to sneak it in my boots when I was in college.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right, so Clemson came out yesterday, and I don't expect you guys to know this, but this is a fun number. I love giving you these statistical data. You haven't seen the story, have you?
No, I didn't. Nope.
Okay, you haven't seen it.
Not sure what you're talking about here.
How many individual units of alcohol do you think Clemson sold Saturday night against LSU?
So like individual drinks.
Yes.
Let's see.
They call it units.
I'm going to go 100,000.
100,000.
I was going to go like 1 million.
1 million?
I'm kidding.
Wow.
Everyone in the stadium would be hammered.
No, I was thinking like they sold millions worth, not like 1 million.
Oh, you're thinking dollar amount.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, I'm asking for
But
the individual
you're asking for
units.
units? You said 100,000?
Yeah, 100,000 drinks.
I'll go like 150.
45,045.
Oh, come on. Step it up, Clemson.
I know.
That was a gross revenue of $467,843.
That kind of surprises me.
Now Pat's going to tell us that a beer's like $25 or something.
Probably, yeah.
It was the first time fans could purchase alcohol in the stadium. And how about this? Nearly 400 people signed up for its designated driving program.
Do you get like a free chicken tenders or something
I have
from
no
the
idea,
concession stand?
but 400 people signed up.
Do you get to ride the slide in the practice facility?
I'm not sure.
I'd
Oh,
sign
that's
up.
good.
I'd sign up for that.
Yeah. I
Maybe
would too.
people are just doing it out of the goodness of their heart, Conrad. Why do you have to have something as a gift or a reward?
I know how people work.
Now, the net for the alcohol sales are not yet available because Clemson is still figuring out the expenses and revenue split. But here's a little fun stat about what took place. Earlier this summer, the Savannah Bananas, they played a baseball game there at Memorial Stadium. They only sold 27,181 units for the Savannah Bananas.
They're declining.
Well, that makes sense.
It's a family-friendly
It's more of a
thing.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the fact there was just a lot of LSU fans there.
Well, that's my thinking. I'm like, man, so these Clemson fans really are not buying alcohol, because you can't convince me that the LSU fans there weren't, averaging 2 or 3 drinks per person probably in attendance.
Right.
So, yeah. So they sold 27,181 units for the Savannah Bananas, and they sold 45,000 plus units for Clemson and LSU. So.
I could have this completely wrong. Did I see that Auburn baseball is doing something with the Savannah Bananas?
That is correct. Yes.
It's a cool little event.
Yep, sure is. I tell you one person that probably needed a couple of those units of alcohol yesterday, and that was Coach Ed Orgeron, former head coach of the LSU Bengal Tigers, because the Louisiana Supreme Court yesterday voted 4-3 to maintain its June ruling in favor of the former LSU football coach Ed Orgeron's ex-wife, Kelly, to receive half of his $17 million buyout at LSU. Orgeron, 64, owes his wife slightly more than $8 million. Orgeron and his attorney had asked the court to rehear the case and reverse the decision on the grounds that it had ignored previous precedents. The Supreme Court said no and denied Orgeron's application for the rehearing. Orgeron received $17 million as a buyout in installments beginning in 2022 from a new contract written after he led LSU to the national championship back in 2019, and the school posted a 15-0 record. He is expected to receive the last portion of that buyout of $17 million in December.
When did they get divorced?
It was after...
Was it after he got fired?
I have no idea.
I was supposed to say, if it's after he got fired, I mean, really not a whole lot you can do about that.
Yeah, I don't have the date in which it was official in regards to their divorce.
Because I would think the only case you would have, right, is if they had gotten divorced and were separated before he got fired, and then he could, because we've seen, I mean, I guess it's different. It's not a buyout, but this happened with Spoelstra and the Heat, right? He got divorced last year. He got a new contract extension, but they waited for his divorce to be finalized,
to give him
then gave him the extension because they didn't want him to have to give half of it to his ex-wife.
And I'm just curious, because Coach O told Barstool Sports here, a few weeks ago that he was
ready to get back?
Getting back into it. I understand why now, Molly.
I think I do too.
Hey,
he's writing a check for $8 million to his ex-wife.
That's right.
We were talking about Alabama wants a coach that has won a national championship before. I'm kidding.
Would Alabama just pay his ex-wife?
Yeah.
Say, hey, we'll take care of your...
For the first year?
Yeah, first year, we'll give you $8 million, but we'll pay your wife, Kelly.
Yeah, I promise
we'll just make
everyone
sure that she's happy.
That was totally tongue-in-cheek. I do not want Ed Orgeron to be the coach at Alabama.
I can see the headlines now in Tiger
I'm going to
Insider.
clip that and post that all over social media.
Please do that. Thank you.
Conrad Van Chaos.
I'll put a big old target on my back when I'm walking to the stadium.
All right, let's get to the text line because so many of you have been chiming in throughout the day, and we've just been so busy with guests and other topics that we've been unable to get to it. So, Conrad, use your best Landrum Roberts way of editing and give the audience a little bit of a snippet of what they've been talking about here on the text line. Brought to you by Courtesy GMC. They're in Trustful.
It would be my honor, Pat. We'll start with this one from Michael on the Ed Orgeron situation. He says, let this teach you one thing. It's always cheaper to keep her. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. I like the rhyme there. Let's see. Josh from Huntsville says, I heard they're bringing a new enhancement to Bryant-Denny Stadium this year. There will be an ice cream truck available on the sidelines during all games.
Yes.
Let's see. Let's see, this text comes in. It says, in reference to Alabama still paying Saban, as soon as he stepped down, they gave him that $500,000 to stay on as an advisor. I figured it was to keep him close to possibly be the athletic director in the future.
Just could be me, but I just do
don't
not
see him
think
doing
he
that.
wants to be an athletic director anywhere.
I agree, but I guess never say never. Let's see. This one says someone has to be the bigger man and go to the other between Nick Saban and Kalen DeBoer. This isn't a you-know-what match between the two coaches. James says, I understand that there has to be managers and coaches, but at some point the players need to be held accountable. They're being paid millions of dollars to perform and win. If they don't, maybe they are the ones who need to lose jobs and not the coach or manager. Thanks for the text there, James. This one says, Nick Saban's drawing a check from Alabama for all the championships he won, right? To me, the new coach should not reach out to Saban. Wouldn't that just be saying, I can't do the job?
Didn't Alabama pay him yearly for winning those national championships?
Quite handsomely, from what I understand, Pat. Yes.
I also understand, I think the university bought his house. Think he lived for free in the house?
The lake one?
Mm-hmm.
Christian chimes in. Do you guys think there is any crazy scenario where Nick Saban comes back to coach the Tide? I do not.
I don't think so.
No, I mean, even if things like went really, really bad, I think that you name someone interim on the staff that finishes out the year. And Saban continues to do his college game day.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. This text says, say DeBoer does get fired. Who would be a realistic option to replace him that would actually be better? They throw out Lane Kiffin, Dan Lanning, Mario Cristobal, definitely not Mario Cristobal, or do they look to the NFL, someone like DeMeco Ryans? I said earlier in the week, I think if you're an Alabama fan and you really, really want Kalen DeBoer gone, you need to root for the Houston Texans to be really bad this year. I like DeMeco Ryans. I think he's a great coach.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously knows the program very well from his playing days. Bobby says, if Conrad's going to jump ship on Alabama for Nebraska, he might as well just go ahead and do it. I predicted before the season started that Nebraska would finish with a better record than Bama. I have Alabama losing at least 4 games this year.
Well, so far we do.
You are currently 1-0. Hey, you can't go 11-1 if you don't start 0-1, right, Molly?
That's exactly.
Now you're starting to sound like Molly.
Isn't
I was about to say that was me last year.
Isn't that what the
all year.
math says? I can promise you, Bobby, I'm not going to jump ship. Even if Alabama goes 0-12 this year, I will be wearing my Tua jersey every Friday for the rest of my life. As sad of an existence as that may become in the near future. Vicky chimes in. Never mind, can't read that one. This person has texted in 3 times today. John Gruden! ! I don't know about that one. I like John Gruden. I would love to see him return to coaching. I just don't know if your first job in college or your return to college would need to be taking over an Alabama program that would be in some disarray, obviously. Josh says it's either Lane Kiffin or DeBoer. Needs to be one of those 2 guys. That'd be an interesting poll question. Would you rather pivot to Lane Kiffin or stick with what you have with Kalen DeBoer? This one says, to me, the question should not be if Nick Saban has provided his assessment on how to fix the problems, but has Kalen DeBoer reached out to him about the problems? Like y'all said, Saban's right down the hall and had all the success at Alabama. If DeBoer is talking to anyone out there, it should be him.
Here's another little tidbit that Nick Saban added, not so much about Kalen DeBoer, but there's been a lot of talk this week about Alabama NIL. He says, I think Texas and Texas A&M probably have the kind of old-fashioned money. A lot of the schools in the Southeastern Conference don't have that kind of old-time generational wealth, end of quote.
See, Brandon chimes in on the text line. Until Saban disappears and just sits alone in his beach house, I won't believe he'll never coach somewhere again. It just won't be for Alabama.
Thank you for the text messages. We will continue to read those throughout the hour. Later on, we'll do some Pat Ponders, but I want to remind everybody about Abide Roofing and Travis Lloyd and his outstanding local roofing team. They can handle anything that you've got going on up in your roof, whether it's just a shingle or two that needs to be replaced and fixed, or perhaps a whole new roof replacement like I had to undergo a couple years ago. I trusted it all with Travis Lloyd and his local roofing team because they can give you a free, no pressure roof inspection. They can tell you what's going on up on top of your roof because these temperatures, the heavy winds, the hail, the rain, all those damages your roof. So you need to get a true assessment if there's a problem. And listen, even if you have a tree that falls down on your property, they can help you take care of that as well. Abide Roofing has your back. They'll even work directly with your insurance company, as I can speak for from obviously knowledge and firsthand, because a little bit less than comfortable in those conversations. But Travis and the Abide Roofing team, they were able to have my back, and they will have yours as well. 205-941-6. Visit their online website, which is abideroof.com. That's ABIDE roof.com. That's Abide Roofing. More of your text and your calls. This is the Friday edition of 3-Man. So, man, we have gotten a lot out of Nick Saban today from the Pat McAfee interview. Do you realize that he has now set up his own playoff system? Supposedly he has submitted this to college football playoff people. And I'm not making this up. This, put pen to paper.
I'm glad that's what the university's paying him to do.
He says that college football should adopt a ranking system similar to the net that you see in basketball, and believes in the idea so much that he has created his own system. There's no incentive for a college team to play a tough schedule because you're going to get penalized for a bad loss. I don't like that. I hope we change that. I've submitted things to try to change that. He says he has presented a different type of ranking system behind the scenes. And it was funny because Pat McAfee called it the Saban metrics. That's what he was calling it. Or sabermetrics, remember, for baseball.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Baseball people. Okay. This is what Saban went on to say. It's very similar to the way they do basically for tier 1 wins, tier 2 wins, and all that kind of stuff. The way the playoff is set up, you get penalized a lot more in losing than you do a big win. That should not be the way. We should have a culture where you enhance people to play a better schedule. And by playing a better schedule and beating more good teams, you have a better chance to get into the playoffs, even if you lose a couple along the way.
Look, I mean, we've talked about it before, right? The quad system in college basketball, why you don't adopt something similar for college football. I agree with a lot of that.
Yeah, I like that.
Now, obviously, the details of it, that'd be more difficult to iron out. But generally, yeah, I agree with the concept of you should encourage people to play difficult non-conference games and reward teams that play in tougher conferences and have to play, now 9-game conference schedules against those teams. So, yeah, I like it.
Water is your home's worst enemy, and it doesn't need an invitation. It finds its way into your crawl space, bringing along mold, pests, wood rot. But Alabama Professional Services, APS, are ready to help you today. Call them at 205-951-9717 or go to their website, alabamaprofessional.com. They've been around since 1977, solving some of the most challenging home issues that a homeowner will have. But by calling 205-951-9717, they can get one of their special guys out there, and they really know their stuff. And the crawl space encapsulation system, they will tell you all about it, and they can go ahead and make that happen because it will seal out the moisture, block the pests, and can even reduce your energy costs. So APS is there to help you today. Like I said, around since 1977. They're your local foundation and, of course, your crawl space experts. So give APS a call at 205-951-9717.
Well, back to the courtesy GMC text line we will go. And a quick apology if we don't get to your text. We have gotten over 100 text messages today. So a lot of it around Alabama football. So we're going to get to as many as we can. But if we don't see your text or read it on the air, I promise we do read them afterwards. And we appreciate all of the interaction. So we'll kick things off with Uncle Jerry from Hayden, my neck of the woods up there in Blount County. He says, imagine, if you will, you build a beautiful home and stay there for 17 years. You move on and the next owner absolutely destroys the home. Are you not pissed about that? I think this is how Coach feels now, and he's probably already let Greg Byrne know how he feels. 2026, the return of the greatest of all time.
I would feel the same way that Uncle Jerry just texted in. I mean, because you got so much sweat equity. Just think of all the things that you went through in over 17 years to build that program.
And to set the next guy up in the situation that he would inherit.
The roster was perfect for him last year. You beat Georgia, and all you got to do is either beat Vanderbilt or Oklahoma, and you're in the college football playoff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This text rolls in. If Saban had not won all the championships that he did in Tuscaloosa, would he have gotten the deal that he has now with the school where they pay him $500,000 a year? They say no, so this deal comes as a result of the championships, which we've discussed before. Maybe it's just a little, hey, appreciate everything you did for the university. We're going to throw you a little kiss on the way out. But we've also had people chime in this week and say, hey, maybe in today's day and age, that $500,000 goes to...
You go on a defensive lineman?
Took the words right out of my mouth, Pat. CJ from Trustville chimes in. Have you guys seen... I did see this yesterday. Have you guys seen where Bill Belichick has now barred New England Patriots scouts from the North Carolina football facility? I did see that. That is,
Wait a second. I thought he was going to create the 33rd NFL franchise in Chapel Hill.
seems
I thought that too.
like I wouldn't be happy about that if I'm a player. Say, hey, I'd like to have a shot on any of the 32 teams, not 31 of the 32 teams, but I guess he thinks if the talent is that good that the Patriots will find him anyways. But yeah, that was interesting, CJ, when they announced that the other day. Let's see, this text, getting back to Alabama, it says, the Alabama dilemma. How do you justify paying the massive DeBoer buyout, or how do you justify keeping DeBoer if the team continues to play like they have over the last 10 games? That is certainly a decision that Greg Byrne and the money people in Tuscaloosa will have to figure out. Posey says, fire Greg Byrne and DeBoer, make Saban athletic director, and let him hire the next football coach. Well, this may not be something that people want to hear right now, but let's remember that Nick Saban and Greg Byrne consulted on who to hire to replace Nick Saban, and Nick Saban gave his
blessing,
seal of approval to one Kalen DeBoer. But, I mean, again, at that time, I don't think anybody would have been particularly upset about the hire if you had known his track record. This text says, how do y'all know that the Alabama coach hasn't already reached out to Saban? Does the public really have to know? No, and they don't, but it goes back to a quote that Pat read from Nick Saban on the Pat McAfee show today, saying that he has heard that Kalen DeBoer has reached out to a lot of people about assessing the current situation, and our thought on that was, well, does that mean he's reaching out to you or other people? But, I mean, no. I mean, if they don't want to publicly display that, they certainly don't have to. It's just curiosity, I think, from a lot of the fan base. This is a new one in terms of a coach for Tuscaloosa. Rick Neuheisel.
I'm trying to remember which time it was. Paul and I had Bob Backrath, who is the athletic director at Alabama, in our studio. And he actually told us off the air that he wanted to hire Rick Neuheisel. But there were some circumstances, not anything salacious, that would have kept Rick Neuheisel from becoming the Alabama head football coach. But it had to do with his staff and who all he would be bringing with him to Tuscaloosa.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
That may not have set well. So take that for what it's worth. But Bob Backrath absolutely told me and Paul Feinbaum off the record, and I can say it now because obviously.
And now it's on the record.
Yeah, it's on the record. But
Yep.
But yeah, he told us that that he really liked Rick Neuheisel. I think that boat's sailed for Rick Neuheisel coaching anywhere.
Let's see. This says, isn't Greg Byrne retiring after this fall? I don't believe so.
No, he got a new contract. He's good.
And I will say this. I know a lot of people are frustrated with him in the hire. I think Greg Byrne's done a great job as the AD at Alabama. You have to look outside of just the football program. We talked about it a little bit this week. I know people are frustrated, but for me personally, I don't think that if you fire Greg Byrne, that's going to solve the problems in Tuscaloosa. That's just me personally. This text rolls in and says, if Ty Simpson struggles this week, go with Keelan Russell and then roll with him the rest of the way. Well, as Pat shared this morning, if things go according to plan for Alabama tomorrow, you'll get your first look at Keelan Russell and maybe a little bit of an extended look at him.
Yeah, I was told that they were hoping that if the game goes well for
the
Alabama.
way that it should go.
I didn't want to say that. I would let you say that.
I will say that, the way that it should go.
But I was told that Keelan Russell, they're hoping to give him a lot of time.
That's certainly something for all of you that are picking up those $7 tickets that Molly highlighted for us tomorrow. If you missed it, you could take your whole family down.
I was say take everybody.
I was about to say, yeah, you, the wife, 2 kids. You can
I mean,
get down.
you can even sit in the lower bowl for like $20, I think, some
Yeah.
places.
I was about to say, you can get, what was it, a pair of tickets for $18?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you want to sit in the nosebleeds, that's something that could happen. How about this text? Hire Gus Malzahn.
Don't think that's happening, folks.
Don't think you should hold your breath on that one, like Pat said. Let's see. This one says, Kalen DeBoer did say in his press conference when he got hired that Nick Saban would be right down the hall. It's kind of in a different building, but yes, he did say that. He did say that. Someone says, has Roll Tide Willie hit the transfer portal? Haven't heard a lot from Willie.
No, he's been kind of quiet on social media. I hadn't seen him.
Let's see. A couple people putting in their vote for Bill Clark to be the next head coach.
Let me tell you something.
At
Bill
Alabama?
Clark is an outstanding football coach.
Yes, he is.
And at one time, he interviewed with Nick Saban to become the defensive coordinator at the University of Alabama.
I was about to say, I think we'd all agree he is not only a great football coach, but a great leader of men.
Absolutely.
And just a great human being from our experiences with Coach Clark as well. Let's see, this one. Scott Cochran, if not Lane Kiffin. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Let's see what happens at West Alabama before we go and crown him there at Alabama. Someone says they were thinking of Dr. Stuart Bell that retired. Yes, there's a new president in Tuscaloosa. That is what they were talking about there. So continue to send your text in 5834-9450. That'll get you on the Courtesy GMC text line. We'll try to get to as many more of them as we can as we roll along.
Absolutely. We'll do some Pat Ponders coming up in the next edition of Three Man Front. It is 1:34. We'll get back to your text messages. We'll remind everybody that you can get out to Courtesy GMC in Trussville. It's the kickoffs, bringing the lowest prices you're going to find not only in Central Alabama, but I'm talking about the entire Southeast. They have people come up from Mobile or drive down from Huntsville just because the best deals on any GMC in the Southeast can be found right there off of Huntsville at Courtesy GMC. Here's a couple of examples of some great deals that are ready for you to purchase this weekend. How about 15 grand off an all-new 2025 Sierra 1500, or go bigger with the Sierra 2500 HD truck, up to $12,000 off. And it's not just trucks. Drive off on a brand new Yukon or Acadia, up to $5,000 off these brand new 2026s that are on the lot, and they will not be there long. They are on the lot and they are gone pretty quick. So take advantage of a new inventory there that have just arrived at Courtesy GMC. Plus, every new GMC comes with the exclusive 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you want to check out their inventory, go by and see them off of I-459 in Trussville, or go to courtesybirmingham.com. And I'm telling you, Josh Gargis, Drew Lally, Tommy Rowan, all the fantastic people there at Courtesy GMC, they are ready to help you find your perfect vehicle, whether it's pre-owned or a brand new GMC there in Trussville.
And they also sponsor our wonderful text line. That is a thing because of all of our wonderful listeners here on Jox, and we appreciate the engagement each and every day. Again, it's been absolutely off the chain this week, as you would expect. So much interaction. We appreciate all of it. I know a lot of you venting frustrations, and that is what we are here to navigate through together. So back to the text line. Patrick chimes in, says, "Hey guys and Molly, wondering if y'all have heard any word coming from Tuscaloosa and the defense about practice this week as far as how is the defense coming along? Do they have more confidence in what they're supposed to be doing? Thanks, and really enjoy all of your insights." Just going off of the few things that we've heard out of practice, I mean, you heard Chris Stewart the other day saying that the guys have responded the way, and that the best thing he's seen all week was going out to practice for an hour and a half and seeing how they responded. You heard Kalen DeBoer talking about how pissed they've been. You heard, Quay Russaw talking about pursuit and effort being a point of emphasis, being more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, people are saying all the right things. It's just going to be a matter of, does that actually come to fruition on the field on Saturday? This text rolls in. Says, "Funny thing, y'all mentioned James Madison earlier, because do you remember on Monday, June the 16th at 12:42, no idea what we were talking about then, but apparently this guy remembers. Says, you all made fun of Florida State. You laughed out loud and said that losing to Florida State was the equivalent to losing to James Madison. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the Florida State team you see this year is a little bit better than James Madison. But to be fair, we didn't know that at the time. So if there's anything we were wrong about, it was that we were all wrong about Florida State. Somebody sent in a...
You okay?
Yes. Somebody sent in a picture of Jalen Carter and a female podcaster that went famous recently for a...
Is that the female podcast
interview?
or is that the famous Georgia politician?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's, what's her name? Do you know her name, Molly? Is it Haley Welch?
Oh, the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Jalen Carter and Stacey Abrams.
Oh, no.
Is she still doing that podcast?
I don't know. I didn't know what to call her. Maybe calling her a podcast.
Check your phone
was
out.
too
Look at your
generous.
phone.
Let's see.
Oh, no.
Is that not
Striking
uncanny?
similarity.
Is that not uncanny?
Sure. Yeah. It's...
Here, Molly, take a look.
Oh, no, I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
It's just you and...
It's like you remember the episode of The Office where they're going after Daryl because he got hurt on the job, and it turns out that it was his sister who, yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, have you watched the paper yet?
No, I was going to watch it last night, but then I ended up staying up until midnight trying to finish that Cowboys and Eagles game. So unfortunately, I did not get to watch it.
Oscar's in it.
Yeah, I know. I saw.
He's playing Oscar.
Yeah, it's gotten. I think it. I saw some reviews for it. It seems pretty solid.
I'm through 2 episodes. It's
just one of those things. It's trying to be like The Office, but it's never going to be The Office.
No.
So you just have to accept that it's going to be maybe like a C+ or a B- version of The Office.
It's not a bad watch. It's just not. You need to go into it realizing that it's not The Office.
Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, The Office is my favorite show of all time, so I'm definitely going to give it a try, but you always knew that one was going to be a tough sell for a lot of people. Let's see.
I was more doing these quick edits, Molly.
This is really fun when Conrad has to read the text.
We have great texters. They're very creative. This one says, do you believe that if Tommy Tuberville becomes governor, that Alabama will continue to schedule Pop-Tart State and Frosted Flake State before scheduling a team from the state of Alabama for their early season matchups? I don't think that Senator Tuberville getting elected would have anything to do with that, but I appreciate the creativity with the breakfast foods. Let's see. This one says, do Alabama fans want to take a breather and talk about Hugh Freeze's golf game again? That could take some pressure off things for a minute or two. I actually think Alabama's going to get it together and will possibly even beat Georgia in a few weeks.
Wow.
LSU doesn't have a mobile quarterback either. South Carolina is worse than last year. I think they lose to Auburn and maybe one more game. The Iron Bowl will be both teams will be 9-2 going into that game for a spot in the playoff. That's David from Coleman. Which is very interesting because 4 days ago, before So this is an Auburn fan. But before the Florida State game, he projected Alabama to go 7-5. He now has them at 9-3 after losing to Florida State that way.
Interesting.
So maybe he thinks a big bounce back is coming. We have some score predictions for this week. Alabama 41-10 over ULM. Auburn 47-3 over Ball State.
And speaking of that, every Friday we ask you an interesting poll question about the upcoming weekend, Molly.
Yeah, what is your I ain't scared bold prediction for tomorrow? Give you 4 options. We got Kentucky upsets Ole Miss, ... again. The Tide struggles continue. USF beats Florida in the swamp. Or Mississippi State takes down Arizona State. And right now the leading response is Mississippi State taking down the Sun Devils. Pat's second favorite team. Favorite city, but second favorite team in Arizona State.
Oh, yeah, Tempe.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you like them just because of Tempe.
Well, and I brought this up again. I know we're SEC homers here, but I think we would all agree Mississippi State, however you look at it, is either the worst or second worst team in the SEC. Right
Behind
now.
Alabama.
Correct, behind Alabama. Thank you, Pat. They are arguably the worst team in this conference, hosting a roughly top 10 opponent, and they are only a 5-point underdog.
Isn't that interesting?
What do you think the point spread would be if LSU went and played the worst team in the Big 12 on the road? Something tells me they would be more than a 5-point underdog.
Easily double digits.
I think
So just,
yeah.
Easily.
again, people want to talk about, oh, the SEC is not deep. It's a top-heavy conference. Arguably the worst team in the conference is only a 5-point underdog to a top 10 Arizona State.
No,
Did you see their cowbell video online?
Yeah, they're going to need more practice than that. Yeah,
I thought that was hilarious.
That poor girl walking around with the mini cowbells.
With 2 of them. 2 little cowbells.
It's going to be a little louder than that.
Just a little bit.
Pretty much. Okay, we've got one more segment to go in the week. We hope you'll join us. Give us a call, 1-800-239-WJOX.
Well, welcome back into the Friday edition of Three Man Front. As we know, the Alabama heat and humidity can be brutal, but don't let it affect your home and family. Keep them comfortable with an affordable Trane cooling system. They've been recognized as America's most trusted brand now for 11 consecutive years, and they're at Jox. So go and find a comfort specialist near you at Trane.com.
All right, let's finish the week with some Pat Ponders brought to you by Courtesy GMC.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trussville. They got TVs in their showroom. Go hang out this weekend. Take a look at some brand new GMCs. Great deals right now. Courtesy GMC right off of I-459 exit 32. Question number 1. Last year, Alabama averaged 174 yards rushing per game. Versus Florida State, they gained only 87. Will the Tide finish the ULM game closer to 174 or 87?
See, I'm trying to split the difference here. So you'd be, middle ground would be like 130, 125. I'm going to go closer to 87.
Are you?
I'm going to say closer to, what was it, 174?
Yeah.
I'm going to say closer to 174.
I hope that's
You
the
are
case.
so down on this team.
Yeah, you are.
Well, I just think they're going to.
You think they're going to just throw it, get all their yards that way?
Well, Kalen DeBoer said that the biggest problem with the offense, or one of them, was that they didn't have enough explosives. So I want to see more Kevin O'Reilly. I'll be honest. From the running game, he's got the juice.
He was very good.
He's young, but
very
he's
good at
he's-
Tuscaloosa County.
He's got the juice.
He was very good. All right, question number 2. Earlier this summer, Landrum went through a period of time in which he did not watch his beloved Braves.
Mm-hmm.
He was just done with them. So my question is, does Conrad get to the point this season where he won't watch his Tide?
I'm going to say no because of the nature of what we do.
Oh, see, that's smart.
I said it earlier. If Alabama goes 0-12, I will still be screaming at my television for every second of every single game.
There you go.
In my Tua jersey.
And that's how you do it. Mm-hmm.
And that can continue for as long. Alabama may not win a national championship for the rest of my life, and I will watch every single game and cheer just as hard as I did during the Nick Saban years.
And I respect that.
And I really hope that that's not the case. But if it is, I am prepared to deal with that.
All right, next question. I want you guys to describe a scenario in which both Alabama and Auburn would be looking for a new head coach at season's end.
I think I still think for Auburn, right? Like, you have a lot of momentum right now, but I still think if you finish 6-6 or worse, that you're done. So I would say if Auburn just hits a wall going into the SEC, let's say, you get some momentum, but then you go and you lose to A&M and Oklahoma early on, things aren't looking good, and you finish 6-6, I could still see that being a move that's made. I think for Alabama to cough up the money to get rid of Kalen DeBoer, I think they have to finish under 500 this year.
I would think for Auburn, kind of looking at their schedule, especially anything worse than 6-6, because you kick off the your SEC slate with at Oklahoma, at A&M, and then Georgia. That's a pretty tough 3-game slate, I would say. But then the rest, you have Mizzou, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. That's pretty doable, especially for Auburn. So I would, like I said, if you don't make a bowl game, but then same thing with Alabama. I would say anything less than like a 6-6 for Alabama too, you'd be finding a way to get rid of them.
Okay.
I know you don't have the money, but anything's possible.
All right, final question of the week. Going to give you guys some options here. What's the next 15-yard penalty Jalen Carter will be called for?
Great question.
That's awesome.
Roughing the passer,
We get options.
forcible contact to the neck or head, or grabbing the opponent's groin. Which one of those 3 will be the next personal foul penalty called on Jalen Carter?
Man, see, my first thought was like taunting.
I know that. See, I was going to say that too.
You know, something like that. But out of your option, I mean, the smart answer is roughing the passer, right? Because that's such a bogus call now anyway. You know, you breathe on them and they
So you don't think it's grabbing the opponent's groin?
No, I think no.
He's out the next game too, right?
We'll see.
We don't know yet. Okay.
But he's technically already set out one.
Right.
They might say one is enough, but I doubt it. I think
you get one more.
Yeah. I'll say roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer?
Yeah.
Man, a whole bunch of... Thought you would go a little bit more bold than that.
Well, I'm trying to be right, Pat.
Exactly.
All right, that's today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Get by and see them this weekend right off of I-459 exit 32, or visit their online inventory at courtesybirmingham.com. We have had so many text messages. We're going to try a rapid fire here. Conrad's going to try to get through as many of them as we can. Once again, we can't get to all of them, but thank you for your interaction on this Friday.
Absolutely. This text rolls in. Says, Conrad says he'll keep watching Alabama, but I predict after Alabama makes him get his face painted up with another team's colors for the 4th time this season, he'll be done until next season. Well, I was talking to Landrum in the hallway at one point, and I said, I know what I said about Wisconsin, right? If Alabama loses to Wisconsin, Molly gets to paint me up like a badger, and I have to do the show like that. If that happens, I'm done, though, because then I will have learned my lesson.
What?
Conrad,
I have so much red face paint in the office and so much red glitter.
I am willing to double down on Alabama. I'm not willing to triple down on Alabama.
Okay. That's fine.
And when it comes to the face paint. That's just me personally. Darren chimes in. He says, the Lane train is about to get derailed in Lexington, Kentucky. Kentucky 24, Ole Miss 21.
No way. Not happening.
Let's see. Don chiming in on the text line says, hey, tomorrow has to be the cheapest ticket prices for both Auburn and Alabama opening home games in the last 20 years. Game time tickets for Alabama as low as $7 plus fees. He says, I got Auburn tickets for $26 including fees. So if you ever wanted to go out without paying hundreds of dollars, here is your chance.
No, it's the game, Ball State, Auburn. Don said he got the tickets. Him and Damian are going down there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the Sanford game tomorrow. Let's see. This text rolls in. It says Lane Kiffin for Alabama, but they also throw out another coach. They say Lane Kiffin or Brent Key as the next Alabama head coach.
Ooh.
I think we would all agree that
Wow.
Brent Key has done a pretty good job there.
How about Marcus Freeman?
Marcus Freeman would be, yeah.
Would you endorse Marcus Freeman for your head coach?
I would.
Okay.
I like Marcus Freeman. Should have beat Miami, but I like Marcus Freeman. Let's see. All this talk of Alabama coaches, that's the way it was for most of the years between 1980 and 2007. So we only have about 25 more years of this before it's over. Appreciate the text there. I hope it's less than that. Let's see. This one says, hire Lane Kiffin. Alabama started going downhill when we lost Scott Cochran. The man is a machine. Injuries started, and the man kept the sideline pumped up at all times. Appreciate the text there. Let's see. This text, there you go, Marcus Freeman. It gets a vote from one listener for Alabama. Michael chimes in. What ticket can you get at more of a discount right now?